what's up, Doc? And welcome to another Nostalgia Talk Christmas bonus. This time around, I'm going to be talking about Bugs Bunny's Looney Christmas Tales. Co-directed by original Looney Tunes co-creators Chuck Jones and Friz Freleng, this consists of a bunch of short films featuring the classic Looney Tunes characters. It starts with Bugs Bunny leading Porky Pig, Yosemite Sam, Elmer Fudd, Pepe Le Pew, and Foghorn Leghorn with a rendition of Deck the Halls. Yosemite Sam doesn't want to sing it at all. Porky Pig's kind of struggling too with his stutter. Don we now apparel. Foghorn Leghorn. Don we now. I say don we now. Or agree. I say our agree apparel. And Bugs is like, all right, Pepe, you sing. And Pepe Le Pew goes, Alouette, jante, alouette. Wrong song, dude. Just saying. So then we move on to the first of 3 short films for this special, Bugs Bunny's Christmas Carol. And our story begins one cold December evening in the office of Scrooge, played in this version by Yosemite Sam, who is just counting money, and then Porky Pig comes in the role of Bob Cratchit, asking for coal. I'm coal, I'm freezing! I'll give you a piece of coal last Tuesday, you should have made it last. If you'd stop shivering and work faster, you'd keep warm. And then in walks Bugs Bunny as a Fred Scrooge type character, who's really into the Christmas spirit, and of course Yosemite Sam is not. Bugs asks, but where's your Christmas spirit? You're looking at it! And he throws Bugs out of the office, and Bugs says, somebody ought to teach that little humbug some Christmas spirit. Bugs' first plan is to steal coal from the fireplace, while Sylvester, who is Yosemite Sam's cat in this cartoon, steal coal from the fireplace and put it in Bob's office. And of course, Bob is very, very pleased by that, but Sylvester notices, how do you notice one missing piece of coal? There's so many in that fireplace, and goes over to Sam, and he doesn't actually say words to him, he just kind of does this, like, indicating he has coal. So Yosemite Sam's like, stealing coal, eh? Well, I'm taking it back! And touches it with his bare hand, bad idea, and then, yeah, that'll teach him to not have a cold heart. Then Bugs Bunny comes back with Foghorn, Pepe, and Elmer to sing Deck the Halls. Yosemite Sam literally throws them all out. Think like Jazz from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air throws them out like that. And as for you, Cratchit, you're fired! And does the same for Porky. And Porky's like, oh, if I'm fired on Christmas Eve, what am I gonna do? And Bugs says, well, at least you have a nice family to go to. And so Porky invites Bugs for dinner, introduces him to the family, and says, this here's my youngest, it's Tiny Tim, who is actually played by Tweety. So Bugs goes down to Tweety's level and says, he's kind of puny, though. And Tweety says, if you had to live on boat seed, you'd be puny, too. Then there's this knock at the door from somebody who works at the light company, what era is this supposed to be set in? Because what he does is he takes a candle off the table. Light company, sorry, you're past due. And then there's another knock on the door, a telegram from Mr. Scrooge. He's foreclosing on our mortgage. We have to be out of the house by midnight. And Bugs says, this time that little miser's gone too far. Of course you realize this means war. Meanwhile, at Scrooge's house, he goes to bed. I'm gonna sleep all through Christmas. That way I won't hurt my eyes looking at all them ugly decorations. But he can hear Bugs conducting Elmer, Foghorn, and Pepe again in Deck the Halls, and Yosemite Sam races out of his house and says, don't come back! Shaking his fist, but he crashes into a pile of snow. So he comes back to the house and prepares himself a nice hot bath. Bugs feels the water and he says, that's too hot for the little miser, and fills the bathtub with snow. This'll probably cool off everything but his temper. And then Yosemite Sam races over to the tub, jumps into it like it's a swimming pool, and, I mean, without realizing that there's snow in it, and jumps right back out freezing. Needless to say, his chestnuts were not roasting on an open fire. Bugs' next plan. Now it's time to play Ghost. And puts a bed sheet over him and makes a lot of noise in the hallway to see if it can get Sam's attention. And then in he comes as he doesn't explain whether or not he's supposed to be Jacob Marley. He just says, I am the ghost of Christmas, which scares the crap out of Sylvester, and he turns entirely white. Ghost? And he races out, Yosemite Sam's like, oh, I hate Christmas ghosts. And Bugs says, because you're a mean, low-down man with no Christmas spirit, I am taking you to see the man in the red suit. You mean Santa Claus? No, I mean the other guy in the red suit. You mean down there? I do. I actually remember all of these short films from the Bugs Bunny and Tweety show. Like, I never saw the special, but I remember all of these short films being used on the Bugs Bunny and Tweety show. And as a kid, I didn't know what that meant. The other guy in the red suit down there. Now I do. Looking back, wasn't there one cartoon where Yosemite Sam actually was sent to hell? So, not wanting to go to the other place, Yosemite Sam's like, no, don't send me there. I'll have Christmas spirit. Oh boy, will I have Christmas spirit. I'll give money to the orphans and to the homeless shelters. Oddly enough, I actually worked for a homeless shelter before I started in film. So he says, I'll even put on a Santa Claus suit. And he goes around in a Santa suit giving money to people and then is invited to Porky's for dinner. And Porky says, thanks for making me a partner in the firm, Mr. Scrooge. Call me Sam. And Bugs kisses Sam. And Sam goes, ooh, I hate kisses. Bah, humbug. So their play's over and Bugs says, that was really nice, Sam. Well, that was only just a play. So as they're having their Christmas turkey, who should be noticing but Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. Kind of weird, Roadrunner looking at, and even, kind of licking his lips at, well, they kind of both were admiring a cooked bird. Roadrunner, a bird, admiring a cooked bird. So the Roadrunner runs off and the Coyote follows right behind him, leading to the next short film, Freeze Frame. We all know how a typical cartoon with Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner go down. Coyote never gets the Roadrunner. However, in this one, the Coyote learns something. Roadrunners hate snow. They prefer the desert. So there's two roads up ahead. One arrow points to, like, this Arctic place where there's a lot of snow. Kind of like, I don't know if you've ever been to Banff, which is in Alberta, out west here in Canada. It was a lot like Banff. So, one going to the snowy landscape, the other one going to the desert. So the Coyote switches the signs around, so the Roadrunner thinks that this direction is the desert. And as soon as he gets to the ice and snow, he stops running. The first trick that the Coyote has up his sleeve is to skate around the Roadrunner. I'll give you a little visual demonstration. Here's the Roadrunner, so he skates around the Roadrunner, but this whole area that the Roadrunner is in stays. The rest of the ice falls into the pond and the Coyote goes with it. It kind of reminds me of a Foghorn Leghorn cartoon where it's winter at the barn and there's Foghorn Leghorn, the dog, and the weasel. Foghorn Leghorn's going skating and the barnyard dog sharpens them so that way it really, really cuts through the ice. So as soon as Foghorn makes a circle on the ice, the ice tips over, falls right through it. The next trick that the Coyote has up his sleeve is a snow machine that just puts snow in one place, and he's aiming for the Roadrunner, but every time the Coyote pushes the button, the snow lands on him. Even if he's not even touching it. Like, he got so frustrated by it, he's like, screw this stupid thing. And he kicked it, and the snow fell right on him. How did that even happen? Man, they really went to great lengths to make sure that the Coyote never got the Roadrunner. Another trick is by making a snow boulder and dropping it off a cliff. And I'm sure if you're a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner fan, you know how that went. Coyote went right with this, snowball, this big snowball, and it fell off of a canyon, and as he notices that it's about to fall on him, he's got a really tiny umbrella that's red. Remember that, it was a red umbrella, and so he's holding on to it like this, and it's only covering like this much, and the snowball falls on him, and he comes out of the snowball with the red umbrella, like a Christmas hat, and he's got the snow like a beard, so he's looking like Santa, and he holds up a sign, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Meanwhile, Bugs is still trying to get everyone to sing Deck the Halls, but his nephew Clyde, do you guys remember Clyde? Yeah, he appeared in a couple of cartoons here and there. I really liked that character, but Clyde comes in and says, Uncle Bugs, you promised to read me a Christmas story. And Bugs is like, oh yeah, alright. I'll do that for you, Clyde. Meanwhile, at the North Pole, Santa is getting ready for his big journey around the world, and he says, are my clothes ready yet? And Mrs. Claus says, they'll be ready soon. Well, I'm leaving soon, you know. Be patient, Santa. Over the North Pole, 2 airplane pilots are flying the Tasmanian Devil on Christmas Eve. Like, this is no way to be spending Christmas. Good thing he's tranquilized. Not for long, the Tasmanian Devil gets loose, jumps off the plane, and ends up on Santa's clothesline, and bounces off of the clothesline into Santa's outfit, onto the sleigh, scaring the crap out of the reindeer, and they run off. Or should I say, fly off. Meanwhile, Bugs is reading to his nephew the night before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. And there's Speedy Gonzales. I'm stirring and I'm a mouse. Meanwhile, on Bugs's roof, there arose such a clatter, I rushed to the window to see what's the matter. And Clyde's like, oh boy, Santa Claus! And Bugs is like, well, in that case, you better get to bed. Santa has a thing about kids staying up late, so you don't want him to catch you awake. So he sends Clyde to bed, and he's like, who could that be on the roof? Could it be Santa Claus? And in comes the Tasmanian Devil in a Santa suit. And I am pleased to say that Bugs is no idiot. He knows right away that it's not Santa. Tasmanian Devil's not fooling anybody. And Bugs looks and he goes, he's a homely guy. He says to Tasmanian Devil, well, Santa, you must have had an awfully long trip. Would you like me to fix you up something? Deviled eggs, deviled ham. All I've got is milk and cookies. So Tasmanian Devil eats that. Basically eats everything in the whole house. Like the Christmas tree. And gets electrocuted by it. And Bugs is like, this is my nephew's Christmas list. He's reading over all of it. There's so many things that Clyde wants. Like, like a pro hockey team, I think there was. There's a lot of things, and I was like, oh my god, a kid really wants all that? And a partridge in a pear tree, he says as Tasmanian Devil finally finishes eating the whole thing. So Tasmanian Devil takes a gift from under the tree, and Bugs has set up a gift exchange booth, and he's like, excuse me, do you have a gift you'd like to exchange? Maybe you'd like to exchange this gift for, pulls out another one, for this nice big one. So he exchanges the gift, and it's a rubber life raft that blows up inside of him, and he just floats up, and Clyde's like, Santa left his sleigh, and he left nothing in my stocking. So he's pretty upset by that, and Bugs is like, well, maybe when we return his sleigh to him, Santa will be so happy he'll probably give you your choice of toys when you get there. Although, let's be honest, Clyde wanted a bunch of stuff. So the special ends with everyone in a sleigh being pulled by the Tasmanian Devil, and then within a second the sleigh is gone because Taz ate it. And that's how the special ends. So there it is, Bugs Bunny's Looney Christmas Tales. You can watch it. I haven't seen it on YouTube, but I did find a link to it. You can watch it if you click down the link below. It's really, really funny. A lot of, you know, great little jokes in that. Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing me talk about it, and I've got one more Nostalgia Talk Christmas bonus coming up, and I will see you then. Peace! And that's all, folks.